Chris, what is up? Any chance you could cover a case study of a fully funded retiree who is ineligible for the age pension? I'm sure this would have relevance for the growing number of Gen Xers who will likely receive little to no government support, having benefited from the superannuation scheme introduced in the early 90s. Thanks again for your podcast. P.S. If there is already a podcast that covers this topic, please let me know.
Careful what you ask for, Chris.
Careful what you wish for, young Christopher. This is episode 334 that we're recording. Coming up on episode 336 and 337, subject to change because it's not recorded right now, but it's in our schedule. Nathan Fradley, who did the episode with me on retiring and how much you need to retire and using pension and non-pension and all that, he's coming up to the studio and we're going to do one exactly what you are talking about here, Chris. How much do you need or how much can you draw down? And, forevermore, amen. We'll have some scenarios and I won't throw him under the bus now. We'll prepare it, not just share his spreadsheet that he didn't know was going to get shared. And we're going to refilm the 2 episodes, retiring with and without the pension with a heap of assumptions. So that will be cool. Any comments on that, Martin?
I mean, lots, but no, Nathan will cover that really well. I suppose it's around how much, which is the part of that, but how much do you need? People think and see the news, do I need $1 million to retire? I need this. There's no right or wrong answer there. What I often encourage people to do is that answer is defined by what you need to spend. And ASFA, which is an Australian superannuation fund association, does a report every year about what does it cost a retiree to live and survive, and that's somewhere between a basic retirement at $50,000 a year and a comfortable up to $78,000 a year. What you need, only you can know and make certain assumptions around. That's your starting point. Because how much do I need in super to live off $40,000 a year is very different to how much do I need in super to live off $100,000 a year. So that's important to go, well, what are my budgeted expenses every year? And then we can start to reverse engineer and go, okay, well, if I need $80,000 a year, at a very simple high level, I did a video fair a few years ago, it was around the 20 times rules. And if you know about the FIRE movement and the 4% rule and different things, they're all similar concepts around this. And so each have their own rule or interpretation, but often you may need a multiple of how much you need to live off every year. I use as a measuring stick, again, depends if you're 58 or 78, but generally around 15 to 20 times what you think you need if you're going to be self-funded. So if I need $80,000 a year, I would ideally be comfortable if someone walked in with $1.6 million.
Assuming they own their home.
Assuming they own their own home, correct.
And is that depleting capital?
That's usually,
to 90 or something?
With inflation and bits and pieces, they're depleting but will have money left over.
Yeah.
Because also retirement's not a straight line.
No.
What we're going to spend when we're young and travelling is going to be more than our passive retirement years, we call them, when we're staying at home and maybe catching up with the grandkids, but also later in life we've got healthcare costs, so it's not a straight line. So usually that is depleting, but not depleting to zero.
And I think that's the trap with a lot of people when they do online projections about wealth in retirement and how much I need to retire. There is sometimes this fear about, well, I don't want to draw the capital. But no, draw the capital, you've earned it, you've saved it, you've invested for it, and you will have a far easier retirement knowing that you are, and we taught depleting the capital, and you can probably talk to it in your projections when you have clients. If this $50,000 income from the super fund this year, 30 of it was your actual capital and 20 was the returns.
Returns, yep.
So,
yeah,
don't be afraid to use money that you've saved for, but this is a psychology game. I had people that I talked to in my circles and networks, they were in their early 70s, received an inheritance. When they looking at, putting this money to work, they were hell-bent on not
growing the capital, at least, not protecting it.
Protecting the capital. I'm like, oh. And then they're thinking, oh, we'll get a property. And I'm like, oh, don't kill me.
Cash flow for Centrelink, yeah.
Like, don't kill me. Like, you don't want to tie all the money up in a property just to keep the capital because they're going to be living on less rent. Like, I don't know. You're allowed to eat the money.
Yeah, and that's the whole super system. The government's either putting some penalties there around if you don't spend it and it goes to adult kids, there may be tax applicable, which we've discussed as obviously ways to adjust or try and reduce that. But your super is meant to be for your retirement, and the whole scheme is meant to be set up around is that you're using that and depleting that over your retirement. But the studies that are coming out and showing is that people are not. That there's more there to spend, and that's where we did an episode a while ago around like the annuities and different things to give people the confidence to spend it. But I agree with you that too many people walk in and go, I'm retiring now with 1.2. I want to make sure in 30 years' time the kids are still getting 1.2. Well, you're sacrificing your retirement and your enjoyment because what you can live off without depleting your capital is going to be a lot less than what you could live off if you did deplete the capital. 1.2 might give you 60 grand a year forever and you're not going to run out. But live off 90 grand a year for the first 15 years.
Also, F the kids, they can have the house when you die.
There's still assets there.
Yeah.
And even aged care, there's, again, aged care, you've done episodes on that, but those rules have changed as well. But there are other means to pay for that. And if you don't have it, then the government covers a large portion of it anyway that I'd be living and enjoying it. There's obviously strategies around, if I've got too much, can I split it with my wife, all those kind of things. And also back to the age pension side, there's a client that I looked after now for a while that at 67 they had way too much in terms of age pension, 1.5, 1.6 or whatever, and at that point to get a part pension it was like 800,000. And their mindset could have been, all right, well, I'm not going to spend any of it and I've got to protect and let it grow. And they've done a bit of that. The markets have done really well, but also they know that they're young and as healthy as they're ever going to be. So let's do those 2 trips a year and let's buy this and spend that money. And so over the last 8 to 10 years, those assets have depleted somewhat. They've also done some significant gifting. And it's probably in the horizon in a year or two, they might actually start to get some part pension. So just because you're self-funded at 67 or 70 doesn't mean you're going to be self-funded the whole way through.
Yeah. I just encourage people to enjoy what they've worked for. I've talked about my parents on this show a lot. You're their advisor. They've recently got their passport. We did a family trip to Bali in June. It's actually pretty funny. I'll tell you a funny story, and if they find out, sucked in. But anyway, so I and we're finished now, everyone. So log off if you're
the technical
the
side
technical,
of it's covered.
The money stuff. This is just me telling Martin a funny story, and it does speak to the psychology part, and I just want to acknowledge that. For example, $5,000 is a lot of money. But if you put $5,000 next to $1 million, what's the problem? And that's around like paying for advice and all that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I wanted to go up to Bali for a week to work on redoing my first book, Sort Your Money Out, and I just need some deep work and do all that stuff. And I thought, I'll throw it out there. So I literally just put on Instagram, hey, I'm going to Bali this week. If anyone wants to come, there's a bit of a like lol, like any friends want to come and hang out. Anyway, my sister and my mum were like, yeah, we'll come. So we turned it into a family holiday. Yeah. And mum and dad didn't have their passports. It had lapsed years ago. I'm like, oh, cool. So they got their passports, and we, I will fully acknowledge my privilege and all that stuff, but I'll do what I want with my money. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. You don't have to concern yourself with how I spend my money. Yeah. But I booked the W in Seminyak.
Yeah.
Now on a good season thing, it's probably $700 a night. That's crazy expensive.
Yeah. It can seem like a lot. Yeah.
It's crazy expensive. It's not, I'm looking at hotels in London at the moment, and it's $700, $900 a night, right? So that's crazy expensive. In Bali, it's off the freaking chain. Yeah. It's off the chain. Expensive. And so mum and dad, so I'm staying at the W for the week, 6 days or whatever it was. So it's going to cost me, say, $5,000. So Mum said, we talked to the travel agent. She can get us, there's a hotel just
down the road.
Yeah. It's very close, like a kilometre away for $2,000 for the week, which is awesome and nice. But like a kilometre in Bali, no. Anyway, so I said, look, book the airfares. I'll book the W. Well, I'll take care of the accommodation. So I booked the W through my Marriott Bonvoy, pay for them, and I think it was like $5,000 or $6,000 because of the seasons, right? Yeah. Because it's clipping $850 a night in peak time. And I text Mum. I was like, I've got a deal for you at the I got the hotel organised. She's like, oh, sweet, how much? And I'll transfer you the money. And I said, I ended up getting it for $2,000. I just copped the three. Like, I don't care. Because my sister was staying there with her husband and the kids. I'm like, how awesome is it to have brekkie together? We're all hanging around and it's beautiful. It's ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And that's the dance. Like, I'm not going to tell them you have to spend $5,000 for the week and stay here because that's a lot of money and you'd have a stroke spending that. But I'm like, nah, stuff here. I'll organise it. I just want you guys to be here.
Yeah, it's good.
And it was a great time. But now we're kind of joking with Dad and calling him the travel blogger because he's now looking at things and they're doing a cruise and he wants to go to Thailand now. And
he's got his passport, so he's ready
to go. That's right. So it was just that in their mind, getting the passport, too much trouble because money's not their problem. Health isn't their problem. They're healthy. They're early 70s. They're fine. And it's just like, you got the money, let's maybe spend it a bit.
But that psychology of never spent that much on a room or a night or whatever.
Yeah.
But also in terms of that, like those memories for them, but also for you and for their grandkids and that kind of stuff. Like
for me, it was worth $3,000.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
So anyway, just a bit of fun there for what it's worth. And hopefully, I hope they don't find out because I don't think they listen to this, but...
Oh, if they've got this far in the episode, probably
that's right.
not.
Yeah, we did it at the end. So, but
I think that is live your life, enjoy your retirement, spend it on yourselves or spend it on your family,
and know that a kilometre on the map in Bali is probably a 50-minute drive. Hey, it's Glen here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. You made it to the end. Can I ask a favor? Can you hit that like button and maybe hit subscribe if you want to get notified when we release further videos just like this one, whether you watch the Money, Money, Money podcast or Retire Right. And remember, if you want to learn more about investing, I've got an investing book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, and there's a link in the description to get your hands on a copy. Thank you so much. Bye.